Did you watch all of the fights this time?
No,
Or just the main card?
dude, I've been on a cold streak where Saturday nights are just tough because you gotta, when you have a significant other, you gotta say, and if you want to watch the prelims too, starting, I think they started early, right? It was was it a 5:30 start?
For me, it's like,
Oh, for you, it must be
yeah,
crazy.
man,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
The average time is normally 1 a.m. prelims in the UK.
Really?
Yeah, main card starts 3 or
Oh,
4
that's
a.m.
right.
So every weekend I'm pretty much doing an all-nighter. I want to watch it live.
You
So what
do
I
that?
normally, I used to
God.
for years, but what I normally do now is I watch the prelims. So
Yep.
I'm up until about 2 a.m. So if it starts at midnight, that's pretty early for us. 11 o'clock midnight, that kind of start for prelims, and the fight pass prelims at like 10:30.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, that's not so bad. And then finishes like 2 a.m. and then I go to sleep. And then I wake up at 8 o'clock in the morning and I watch the main event on, so I can skip through all the adverts and
Oh.
stuff. I record the main.
Okay.
And then I don't look at my phone. And then it's no different really to watching it live or waking up at a stupid o'clock because I have to sleep all throughout the day.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say it's hard too because of social media, but if you're in that time zone,
Yeah.
you could probably just kind of hide from it, which is nice.
Yeah, just turn the phone off face down
Yeah,
until I catch up.
that's kind of brutal though. For us, like, it starts about 5:30 for the prelims on an early card,
That's so nice.
but then it's nice, but I have to like dedicate an entire night, and I can't do that all the time on a Saturday night. So
No,
what I've been doing is I have ESPN Plus and I have Fight Pass. So
Oh, yeah,
I
of
just
course.
watched it yesterday.
I forget all about that because,
Yeah.
we don't have ESPN Plus over here. We don't pay for pay-per-views.
What?
Nothing. Yeah, don't pay for them.
You don't pay for?
No, they're on UFC has a contract in the United Kingdom for BT Sport. So BT Sport has every single card, main fight nights or pay-per-views for free. You just pay your monthly subscription. It's like part of a TV package.
That's how it should be. That's
Yeah,
how when
so
I got UFC Fight Pass, I was like, wait, I don't really get anything out of this. It's $10 a month.
Other than watching it back or the fight night prelims or early prelims, whatever it is. Yeah. So we get quite lucky because a lot of English people were moaning that we had to pay for the McGregor Cowboy fight. That's the only pay-per-view we've had to ever pay for. And I was like, are you serious? We've been having, like, do not take this for granted what we get. Because you have to pay, $60, $70
on UFC 252. That was I think it was $65, and
it's probably like £50 too. Yeah.
I wasn't watching with anyone, so I can stream it, but I like to kind of pay my dues as it is,
Yeah, for sure.
Wow. So yeah, I didn't get to watch the prelims, so hopefully that's not too much of a bummer for you.
No, not at all. Not at all. Main card is that's where it was at anyway. But yeah, my picks, I forgot to do because I didn't watch it live. As you say, you got other things. I had my misses as well to deal with, so I can't dedicate every time, and it's kind of hard. So I watched it the next day, and because I watched it the next day, I forgot to put my bets on because I always do it after the weigh-ins now in case the fight's cancelled. I don't want the faff of re-getting my money back. And I got every single one right, including what in the last podcast we did. I said, Rakic is gonna calf kick him to crap. He's gonna win by decision.
Dude, yeah.
And to the point, he calf kicked him to crap. I didn't expect it to be that on the money, but I was shocked when I watched it. And
you hit all 5, and then I think I hit all of them.
You were on the money on Magny.
Dude, Magny.
You were on the money there.
I ended up betting on that too because I was like Magny by decision. It was I think it was minus 150, so 1.5 to 1.
So that means you told me this. This means you put $150 on to win 100.
Yeah.
Okay. And your bets like my bets, where they're like £1 to £10, so $1 to $10, or are they quite as significantly higher? Are you trying to earn big money, or are you doing just for fun?
I do it. I think I won like $10. You know
what I mean? So you're like me.
I was just like, I just want to bet to have something in the game, and then I ended up evening out completely. So it was nice. It was fun. I don't mind that.
That is nice. What was let's go back to my notes. I write notes everywhere. All the other ones, yeah. So I don't know what happened to the Ankalaev Kutalaba fight. I didn't see that.
Kutalaba, he tested positive.
again.
For COVID. I
Is
think
that
the
for-
first time, I don't know
it-
what the first time what the pullout was for, but this time I'm pretty sure it was COVID.
Again, so it's the third time it's this. So it's been, they had the fight, it got rescheduled, that got cancelled, it got rescheduled again, that's been cancelled. So it's,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to do this, the preview again.
I know. I
You know what I
don't
mean?
want to
It's
do
like 4
that.
times. No, I'm just gonna skip it
I'm
next
sick
time.
of it.
Just put a link into another timestamp.
Yeah.
And then what was it? Ricardo Lamas versus Bill Agayo, the guy we hadn't seen. Bill
Yep.
lost on his contender series. Looked fucking awesome. It was brilliant. I mean, he gave Ricardo Lamas a hell lot of trouble, and I didn't expect that at all. When he was giving him taunting, he was doing the look for the sky, missing.
Yeah, I didn't like that too much. I was like, I don't know, man. Was that the first round? I think he did that, wasn't it?
Yeah, he kept it up through all three, and he was getting his butt kicked in the first. So, no, Ricardo looked good for, what's he, 38, 39? He's getting on.
Yeah.
And he looks, his body's ridiculous. No fat on him still. But I think Bill Agayo deserves a few fights on a contract now after that performance, because Ricardo is is a top 10 person pretty much his whole career until now.
Yeah, I scored that. I went 10-9 Algio in the first round. Then I think I had 10-9 again for Algio in the second round. And then, but round 3, I had it 10-8.
Right,
Lamas.
okay.
So I actually had it as a draw when I was scoring it.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I definitely had the last round as a 10-8 Lamas, for sure.
Yeah, I think so. He just, I don't know what happened. He just turned it on. I think Algio was just kind of
Just
getting a
neutralized him
little gassed
completely,
out.
didn't he? Yeah.
Yeah. So,
think-
I mean, if he just fought like that the whole fight, he would have destroyed him. But, I mean, his ground game was very good for Lamas.
Yeah. Yeah, in the first round, Bill was getting up really well. They're both black belts. I heard Bill's a black belt in jiu-jitsu as well. I was like, okay, well, that's a nice little, string in his bow. And then Alexa Grasso won her fight. We both picked her. So we both picked Lamas, both picked Grasso, both picked Magny, and then you went Anthony Smith. But we didn't know it was a 3-round fight. And so I didn't know that either. They're doing that a few times now in the last few months with some cards. They're changing it up. I don't know why. They're just not prepared for 5 rounds, I guess, and the UFC don't want to watch 2 exhausted fellas.
But you think isn't that funny though? Because this weekend's card with 2 heavyweights is a 5-round fight.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the rationale is behind it.
And one of them's never gone 5 rounds before. And Sakai.
And I don't think he will go 5 rounds.
I'm with you. No, but I was dead in chuff with Rakic. Does he get the next title shot like he wanted? He's ranked 9. He beats ranked 5.
I don't think he's gonna get it.
Light heavyweight.
I want to say, I'm sorry that if I was offensive to Rakic, because he blew my mind. I mean, he was so much stronger, and he just went to the, like we said, if he went to the ground, that's where Smith I thought was gonna win.
Me too.
But he
I
just
thought he'd keep
destroyed
standing. Yeah.
him.
I thought he wanted to keep him standing back up and keep kicking that leg out.
Exactly. And I don't even think Anthony Smith could stand at that point. After that early first round calf kick, which was like, he basically took like a baseball bat and hit him in the knee. I was like, oh my God, he's not going to walk the rest of this fight.
It pretty much was a bat. You could hear the everyone says if you hear a slap, it doesn't hurt, which from Thai boxing, I can tell you it doesn't. If you hear a thud, it hurts.
Yeah.
And that was a crack, wasn't it? You could hear it. And he said afterwards that Rakic felt like a heavyweight, like he felt like a different weight class.
Yeah.
So he's reconsidering going back down to middle, and I was like, don't do that. You killed yourself at middle, and you weren't very good.
Right.
Like I don't like it when fighters cut so much weight.
Yeah.
Like Anthony Johnson was a welterweight.
When
he fought my man Dan Hardy, he was at 170 pounds. He's lost to, I don't know if you remember, back Rich Clemente, who was the original No Love nickname.
Oh, I don't.
5'6". He rear naked choked Rumble Johnson.
Really?
Yeah. You can look that up. He had No Love tattooed on the top of his back, and he sounded like he had helium voice. 5'6". When Anthony Johnson used to fight with contact lenses. Rich hit him, his contact fell out, and then he had to leave it, and then he got him to the ground and choked him. It was brilliant. Yeah. But
that is brilliant. That's insane.
Yeah, now he's the most scary individual. We mess with him he's coming back now as well. As soon as John says he's departing,
he certainly has. He's put on a few pounds. He's a big man now. Yeah, it could be.
Bit of the Dillashaw juice,
Yeah.
Right, let's get into the new one. And do you want to start at the bottom of the main, or just crack into the top, the bottom? Yeah.
Yeah. Start at the bottom.
Right, bottom of the main. We have Thiago Moises versus Jalen Turner. Now, I know a little bit about Moises, but Jalen Turner is very memorable because he's so fucking tall for lightweight and lanky, and his record is very harsh to his skill level, where he's 10-5 as a record. I don't know a hell lot about Moises, unfortunately. I've seen his last 3 fights. I've seen him since he's come into the UFC.
Right.
From the Contender Series. Another Contender, after so many Contender Series. And this whole fight card seems to be Brazil versus USA.
Yeah.
On the statistics. So I don't know what they've got against other nations in this one. But what do you think about Jalen Turner for a start?
Well, like you said, one of the first things I put in my notes was that he's 6'3", fighting at 155, and he's got a 7-inch reach advantage, and he's just a knockout artist in general. Like, that's his style.
Yeah.
And Moises is a much smaller guy, and he's more of a grappler, submission artist.
He's more the standard size, I think, for a lightweight, 5'9".
Yeah, exactly. So that makes a little more sense. And this guy, he's 6'3". I mean, that is significant. You kind of saw it when like Magny fought Robbie Lawler. He just was like significantly bigger, and he was just able to do things to stop him. Not that I don't think Turner's going to really need to put himself in a position to do that. I think he's probably going to end up catching Moises.
Yeah.
But
he's keep it standing. Yeah.
I think that 100% that's got to be the move for him. You don't want to go to the ground. I watched the Michael Johnson fight. Moises submitted him.
The heel hook one.
Yep, exactly. Because I think Michael Johnson looked like pretty good early on.
Yeah.
But then he ended up getting caught with that. So you don't want to leave it to chance. Just keep
the story of Michael Johnson's career. Yeah.
I know. Yeah.
I love him so much. Yeah. And he knocked out Poirier.
He had the fastest hands. Probably.
He still probably does.
He might.
He's the only person to ever still to date put Khabib in a place of mortality.
Yep. Slight chance. He almost.
And then he went for he jumped for a guillotine and took him to the ground. It was like, what are you doing?
You don't do that.
Hit him again. What are you doing? Yeah, that was mad. I so agree with you though. Jalen's got to keep this standing. 7-inch reach advantage. The only comparison you kind of have is like the John Jones reach. He's the John Jones physique, but for lightweights, and it's scary. And he's like lost win in his UFC career. He's just coming off a win. But you think his UFC debut, I had to look at it because I forgot who it was. I was like, how many fights he had in the UFC now? It's against Vicente Luque.
Yeah.
I was like, that's harsh when you see how good Vicente is now.
Absolutely.
Oh my God. When he nearly beat Wonder Boy, for God's sake. Like, it was a close fight.
I love Vicente Luque. Big fan.
He's the definition of underrated, in my opinion. I agree. He's just in the top 10, maybe?
Yeah.
I want to see him fight hard.
His striking is, I mean, he's such an elite striker, and he has so much power.
Yeah.
I know Stephen Thompson's just a very defensive fighter, so it's really hard to get into him to begin with, but I think Luque can hang with anyone.
Yeah. What he did to Mike Perry to show power.
Oh my God.
Might have messed up my nose Perry.
Yeah.
And you know how powerful he is.
Right.
Exactly. Right, so we're going to say Jalen Turner on this, keep it standing, or are you going to go for Moises manages to get into the ground somehow, get inside that reach?
No, I don't see that happening. I have Turner by TKO.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's going to go that way. I don't know too much about Moises to give him the edge.
I think he's got a good chin for him, which makes me think he might not be able to finish Moises, but I think having Moises on your record is a good name, considering he just subbed Michael Johnson. So in MMA math terms, he's got one over on Michael Johnson as well. That's the way I'm looking at it. For the UFC might want to build on Jalen if he can get through him.
I agree.
I'm gonna say Jalen by decision.
There you go.
I'm hanging on the fence with a decision though.
I know. Well, the decisions. You want to talk about the last card? Did everyone go to decision in the main card? I think they all did.
You might be right.
And I was thinking, I was like, that
Decision.
doesn't happen too often.
Other than, yeah, they all went decision, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, doesn't
So,
happen
I mean,
too
it's a
often,
safe
you're right.
pick. It's a safe pick.
Yeah, we're all about safety. You're going to go Jalen. You're going to say TKO?
Yeah, I'm going TKO.
I
I think he's going to catch him for sure.
I like it. I hope you're right, because it'll be more entertaining.
I know, yeah, you can't
Good
go.
morning.
We need some finish. There's going to be some finishes when you talk about the next fight, too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We got Brian Kelleher. Oh, I love Brian Kelleher. Been watching him for so long now. Brian Kelleher versus Ricky, or in the English term, Ricky Simon.
Oh, wait, didn't they pull that card? Or that fight?
Is Ricky Simon pulled? I haven't seen that. He's been pulled versus Brian Kelleher.
Let me double check. Because I didn't have that in my,
Oh, I'm going to cry for
notes.
this. I've been off MMA Twitter and Instagram for a day, so.
Yeah, I could have sworn they moved, I think Simon or Simone. I forget what happened, but I'm pretty sure he's off, and now it's
it's not the fight's not off. It's just he's been replaced almost.
Yeah, for the next fight, I have the Michelle Pereira fight.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll have a look afterwards. For the Simone versus Kelleher, that's gutting. I was looking so forward to seeing Kelleher back.
Yeah, because I think he just signed a new fight with someone else. I want to say I saw that somewhere on the Twitterverse.
You must have, yeah. Yeah, it goes so fast with this little COVID bubble. Anything can happen.
Right.
So. Right, Pereira then. Now, this is what you want to talk about. I saw you retweet the guy today, yeah. Versus,
I copied a
Delete.
video. And it's just like the classic of him just doing backflips.
Tristan Connolly, right? Where he just started.
Yeah.
He literally did a handspring. He did a handspring for no reason.
And Connolly kept his cool that whole fight. Props to him because he did a great job to not fall into any of the BS that he brings into the octagon.
So easy to use. Yeah.
This guy is just such a fun person to watch.
Mm.
And he's so young too. He's only 26, but when you look at him, you think he's 35. He just looks super old, but he's also in incredible shape.
And with 30, was he 36? Yeah, 36 fights to his name as well.
Yeah,
already.
He's young guy.
That's insane. So
and
the last loss as well. The last loss to Diego Sanchez, kind of sour taste, isn't it, in the mouth?
Yeah.
After Diego was like, will I win? Will I win if I say I can't see? They're like, yeah, and he's like, yeah, I can't see.
Well,
I'm
gonna get out of the ring, out of the octagon. I don't want to fight this guy. Just give me the win.
Yeah, getting the piss beaten out. That was just a mismatch. Diego he can still beat some people in the UFC. Don't get me wrong, but Pereira is just the next. He's physically just. I don't know how he makes welterweight. To be honest, he's so big.
Yeah, he's
huge.
Think
has he missed weight? I want to say he missed weight against Danny Roberts when he KO'd him. Because Danny Roberts,
possibly
English fighter, obviously got another more.
Yep. Fighter. He's a good
and I was
fighter.
crying when he got knocked out.
Oh yeah.
It was in the first 2 minutes, and he got lured into the, as you say, the trap, which is so easy to fall into with him of the carnival that he brings.
He's just dancing off the cage, just 2 feet on the cage, doing flips over you, and sometimes you don't know what to do, but other times I think you just wait it out and just fight like a normal person. But I agree. I think if he just doesn't do any of those things in fights fundamentally, I think he's a very dangerous fighter. And I know he has a very deep background in jiu-jitsu as well. So I'd like for him to utilize that a lot more, especially against Imadaev, who, if I remember correctly, is also kind of like a creative striker, more of a stand-up guy. So I think if Pereira is smart, he'll take it to the ground and just fight normal for once, if he can do that.
If he can, luring that ego.
Yeah.
Just likes the show money, doesn't he? But Zalim Imadaev is coming off 2 losses out of 2 in the UFC. So if he loses this one, now normally people when they get contracted, they get a 3-fight deal. You lose 3 fights, you're out. Go back, regroup, try and get some wins. We'll call you back if you get better again.
Yeah.
He's lost to Danny Roberts. Danny Roberts knocked him out. So we have a we have someone to compare him against.
Right.
So that was a fight. After Danny got knocked out by Pereira, he took the Zaleem fight and he knocked Zaleem out. Danny's a very, very good striker. So that makes me think. But I do think Pereira, as you say, if he keeps all of that to himself, all the crazy carnival, all the backflips, all the all running, everything, that doesn't matter in a real fight. It's just more for show. I think he is a better striker than Danny Roberts, fundamentally, as you say, and physically just a beast. Just so. They always say when you go to jiu-jitsu lessons, it's technique over power. If you have power as well, my God.
Right.
It's just like, it's like a 10-stone guy knowing jiu-jitsu versus a 20-stone guy. He might win. But if he knows jiu-jitsu, crush. He's dead.
Exactly.
So Pereira is, in my opinion, if he even keeps it fun and funky, I think he smashes Zaleem. I think Zaleem is going to be out the UFC after this fight. I think he could 8-3, which is a shame, considering he was undefeated coming in. But
that's what happens,
That's what happens.
You face the greater competition, and he doesn't even look bad when he fights either.
No,
he's a good striker himself. He just honestly, he's drawn a tough few fights to start, really.
Yeah. I haven't seen any Russians really. If they get taunted, they don't really get sucked into the battle.
Yeah,
they're kind of really cool-headed. So I'm imagining if he starts showboating, taunting him, come on, and like doing some spinning crap and running on the cage, and
that would be genius of him if he does that.
I don't think Zaleem's going to fall for it, personally, because he's got a lot riding on this win. He has to win in his head, otherwise he might be out of the UFC. So
Zaleem should be trying to egg him on. To play that game a little bit and try to bring it out of him and then take advantage of it.
I think so. I'm not going to go for an upset. I haven't seen the betting odds again, but I'm pretty sure Pereira is going to be a heavy favorite.
You know what's crazy?
Is he not?
This is basically, as we call it, a pick'em fight.
No, it's even odds. Really?
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
No,
I'm gonna take that. I'm
gonna say Pereira all day.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy. I saw that. I was like,
it's mad.
I don't know. They usually know what they're doing, but that seems very, very incorrect.
I didn't know what they were doing when I bet on Michael Bisping to beat Luke Rockhold. So.
Yeah.
And I bet Holly Holm to beat Ronda.
Oh, did you?
That's a good money that day. I put £5 on Holly Holm, and I won like £130 from £5.
That's crazy. So that's what's crazy about the odds is usually when they really like a guy, kind of like in the Anthony Smith fight, it's like you could have got Anthony Smith like almost 3-1.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's 5-1, and we've seen it high as like 6-1, 7-1 sometimes. So if you can see something in it, you can see the competitive advantage somewhere.
I think Rogan always says it the best, where he said the first time Anderson Silva fought, when he came into the UFC, he fought Chris Lieben, and Lieben was like a 10-1 favorite, and he just said to people, bet the house on Silva, because he had watched Cage Warriors and Cage Rage, and where Anderson was been fighting in the UK. And he was just like, you guys don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You bet against this man. This guy's a ninja. And he's like Neo from the Matrix, really, the way he moves. Literally. And he was light years ahead. And so I've got to take, if that's an even fight, I think it's a 3-round fight. Zaleem's tough as shit. I'm going to say, but he has been knocked out. I'm actually going to say sensational knockout for Pereira. I won't sit on the fence on this one. I think.
Give him the highlight reel.
I'm going to say the first round as well.
Okay.
Straight out the gate.
Wow, that'd be something. He'd be going crazy after that.
Yeah, I ain't gonna bet that. I'm gonna bet just the win, but
yeah, right. That's just easy money, I think. But
I wonder what the odds are for that. Yeah,
I'm probably gonna go with decision because I do want him to cool the jets a little bit and just fight this, as I say, normally. Just fundamentally, I want to see some good technical stuff out of him. Because going forward, you always see when people try to be like a highlight reel, that only works for so long. And then when you want to actually be a real fighter down the road and you want to get a title shot, you got to learn how to fight. So
if he wants to progress in his career now, you got the 50K bonuses a couple times.
Yeah, you're good.
You're good. Yeah,
he's young. He can make a run at it. Let's go.
Yeah, and I don't think his record is actually that bad, to be honest. Like the loss to Diego Sanchez, he won that fight. He butchered him. So
yeah.
it's kind of like John Jones has a loss on his record. He doesn't.
Right. He doesn't
That
know.
Hamill man, pussy. Like, give him that. Give him a
that's
rematch. Yeah, it is, isn't it? You know, he was beating the snot out of him. So, who's after this? We've got Sijara Eubanks versus Karol Rosa.
Yeah, I saw that one.
Now, I'm not slating the fight, but it's similar to what happened last week, the week before last. Why is it a co-main? It's a good fight, and I'm happy they actually get in a co-main spot. But I don't understand how this is a co-main event over Pereira, for instance, someone that would draw more eyes, because both women aren't exactly well known.
Yeah.
I don't want to harsh them up by saying prelim fighters, but they're, I would say, prelim to breaking onto the main card kind of level. If this was a bigger fight card, if the roster wasn't so big, they would never be this high up. It's a very good opportunity for them.
Right.
So I've only seen Rosa's to memory. I don't want to lie and say, oh, no, history and all this. I've only seen, I think, her last fight against Melo. But I've seen all of Eubanks' fights. Whereas her record is pretty crap on paper. I do think she's tough as shit, and she's had a lot of bad coaching. I remember hearing in one of our corners they just said, "Why don't you hit them all?" And I was like, "Who is your coach?" If you're saying why aren't you hitting them, do you know what I mean? It's constructive, please. Give me something to do. I know I've got to hit her. That's the kind of thing I'm going with. UFC have a record of 6-4. Every other website has a record as 5-4. So I'm not sure what it actually is because I don't know a crazy lot about her. So I'm going to go with the UFC's one of 6-4, just based on she works for them. And Karol's is 13-3, but she's on a 4-fight win streak. She's won all her fights so far in the UFC, including her last fight, which is in Future. She hasn't got a great name on her record either. She's been fighting to decision like a lot of women do because they don't have, say, the knockout power. Most women that get finishes are normally by submission. They're normally the grapplers like Mackenzie Dern's and Esk, that kind of. For example, and this is a 135 fight, so actually heavier than someone like Mackenzie. So I'm surprised some of them can't sit down on their punches more. But you don't see a lot of finishes with women in general. It's normally you get a woman fight, get Rich strap in for 15 minutes. So. I'm not sure who to take on this, to be honest. I wondered if you had any thoughts on, if you've got any opinions, if you've seen them fight more, because it's kind of a pick-em in my head of I've only seen them a couple times each. So,
yeah, I've only seen them in recent memory, probably just last year or so.
Yeah.
And Eubanks she's got a lot of good names on her, even in her losses. I know she lost to Aspen Ladd. And I believe she's beat Roxanne Modafferi twice.
She's definitely is it twice? Definitely once. I know that.
Definitely once. And then
and she's the definition of a journeyman, Roxanne. So
right.
I love Roxanne. Yeah, she's mental.
I don't know how much weight you give to that, but it's someone, it's someone who's been there before and has.
She's been in there, as you say, with Aspen and Betchka Haya decision. I think did she just get cut as well, Betch? I want to say I read that she got released from the UFC. Whether it was cut or end of contract, and she's just gone somewhere else. That might have been it, not cut, but released. I guess.
Not sure.
I think I read that somewhere. I don't want to say that, and she's still I want a 5-fight deal. She watches this. Yeah.
You never know. But no, these two are, I'd say, they're both not well known, so this makes it a difficult one to pick. But from what I've taken away, it seems that Eubanks is more of a wrestler. She'll probably be more aggressive with it, whereas Rosa's more of just a technical striker. But what I've seen, and I use UFC Stats a lot, which is a great website, but she's thrown over 100 strikes in both of her fights.
Wow, okay.
Which is significant, and she even had 2 takedowns in her last fight too. So she does mix it up well, which I like a lot. But I don't know. I think she's only had 2 UFC fights.
Yeah.
So fighting someone with the more experience. Again, I always like to give them more credit if they've
Yeah.
been in the UFC and they've fought legit talent.
Hmm.
So, and she's had, let me see what my notes say. She's had a takedown in all of her last 5 fights. So you know what she's probably going to be end up doing. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna side with her. I would have her as a decision win, Eubanks.
Yeah. You're going to take like almost the Mark Hunt route. Mark Hunt's got a record of 12 and 13,
Yeah.
but he's fought everybody. The
Right.
losses are, you know what I mean? So it's, Mark Hunt is dangerous as shit.
Right. It's just like they fight killers and they don't really have a chance.
Yeah, he's
They
never
might not
fought
be
anything
that-
but killers. Yeah.
Right. So
He's never had a
I'm leaning that
tomato
route.
can, as James Vick would call him. He never had the Gaethje effect where he just racked up 15 wins to then join whatever it was. Yeah. Yeah, I think you're probably right. I always give it to experience, but the experience and fights goes to Rosa, but the experience of UFC and the harder fights and the fact the way she lost to bigger names like Aspen Ladenbech, she didn't get knocked out, she didn't get tapped. She just she went 15 minutes with him. She's got a tank. I think I side with you on that, to be honest, with Eubanks, just based on I've seen more of her. She's older, so she might be more. You never hear of her old man strength. You got your granddad, and you just like can out wrestle you still, and you're like, how? It's just that mature strength. I think she's just going to have when she can sit down. I don't think she's going to knock her out. There's no proof in any of her fights for me that she's going to do anything of the sort or sub. But I do think she could wrestle fucker for 3 rounds, as you say. And I think she's going to do a Kamaru Usman and just crotch sniff to
just
victory.
Stomp on her feet and then take her down and just lay on her.
Oh my god, yes. I've gone crazy at that. So we're both saying decision, I think, for Eubanks.
Yeah, I think that's the smart pick there.
Oh, I'll let you start with this one then. Go for it. Alistair Overeem versus Augusto Sakai. 2 big-ass bastards.
Big boys. Sakai, he's a big boy.
He's a big boy.
He's a large man. I just watched his Dana White Contender Series fight today because it was one of the UFC free fights. And, he moves really well, though, for someone who's that big. He does move well.
Mm.
And he was fighting someone who was consistently going for the takedown, and he shut it down every single time.
Yeah.
And it even got to the point where, like, he was holding on to him and would just toss him to the ground. So, he's got a lot of strength.
Yeah.
And he's definitely – he's going to be looking for the knockout, especially in a 5-round fight against Overeem, who, in my opinion, is still a legitimate – I don't think he's a contender necessarily, but he definitely deserves to be in the top 10 of that division.
Oh, yeah.
And, he beat Walt Harris without a problem. I know Walt Harris was not in the right frame of mind with everything going on, but at the end of the day, he still kicked his ass.
Yeah.
And then his previous fight against Rosenstrike, he's piecing him up the entire fight. And then he just gets
5
caught
rounds.
with literally that one shot, and it ends, which is why heavyweight is the scariest of all.
5 seconds to go. Heartbreaking.
It's just so heartbreaking because he's such a good fighter. He's so well-rounded. He can really do whatever he wants. If he wants to strike, he can do it. If he wants to take him down, he's not going to have a problem doing that either.
Rare for a heavyweight to do that as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
So.
Right. Yeah. You see, like, when someone like Stipe or even when DC moves up, when the guys can wrestle as well as strike, it's a whole different ball game, especially when they're fighting someone who I don't think is very good on the ground. So, if you didn't look at the odds yet, it's actually not super in favor of Overeem. He's less than a 2-1 favorite, which I think again is, as I would call it, easy money. I think Overeem's going to win this one pretty easily, especially as the fight goes on into the championship rounds, if it even gets to that point.
Yeah.
Just because we know that he can do that, even though he's 40 years old, his cardio is still held up. Yeah. And Sakai I don't think he's ever sniffed a 5-round fight. So I don't know. And actually,
you're right.
In his previous fight against Blagoy, who I think is a really good fighter too, who's also a really well-rounded fighter, he was losing. I thought he lost that fight, actually.
I thought he lost it as well.
I thought he lost that fight.
That was one of my points, yeah.
So I don't know. I'm kind of surprised that they're even giving him to Overeem right now, but I think Overeem's going to win this fight for sure. And I'll go TKO. I think it's going to happen as it progresses past the third round. So I'll go round 4 TKO. Over.
Nice, a late stoppage. It's right that quick. I think most of what you said I agree with. There's one thing I think they might have thought about, and that's Alistair's glass chin these days. He tends to get tapped on the face and drop.
Yeah.
But it was against Rosenstruik. And I'm just trying to think, is Augusto as hard-hitting as Rosenstruik? Is he as decorated as a kickboxer as Rosenstruik? Not even close.
Right.
In power, in speed. He also weighs in at 265 as well, so he's a lot slower. He's got no takedown defense, as I've seen, except that one fight against... Is that the Contender Series one? Where
the Contender, right.
But the guy's not like a decorated high-level wrestler.
Right.
He just doesn't want to fucking get hit by Augusto.
Exactly.
It's different if he went against someone like a Curtis Blades. You'd really see what his takedown defense is like.
Right.
So, Alistair got taken down, elbow to the face. Not, I think you're right. I think there's a barrier Overeem's never going to get past again. I think top 5, no. Because you think the people above him, Rosenstruik, Derek Lewis, Curtis Blades, DC not anymore, Stipe and John, to be honest now.
John, yeah.
So I think Overeem is like, I will let you into the top 5 if you beat me. That's his barrier. And at 40 years old, to be there after however many, 65, whatever fights, dude's amazing. I love Alistair. It shows him as he's from the UK. Why is he from the UK on the UFC's website? Is his dad or mum British? Because he's Dutch, I thought.
Yeah, I thought... No,
He's definitely... He sounds Dutch. He talks Dutch. Sorry.
Yeah, that must be a mistake. I have not seen that on their website. That's got to be a mistake.
It says United Kingdom, so I was like, that has to be. But I'm pretty sure Augusto's going to come out swinging and try and put a statement on it because, as you said, the last one was quite controversial when he got the hate on social media, I know, big time. And in the media afterwards, they were saying, how did you score the fight? Did you think you did enough? The casual questions when journalists don't want to say, we thought you lost.
Yeah.
So kind of what they said to Frankie, even though I think that was quite unfair because you could see it both ways. But a lot of journalists were like, well, we side with Pedro here because Pedro's angry with us for asking the question. So I do think Alistair's going to do pretty much what you say. I think the way he fought Junior Dos Santos, where he doesn't burn cardio. He just uses angles and slight movement. He's got the years of experience of cutting off that octagon. I think it's going to be even quicker than 4th round. I don't think it's going to come out the second. I think 2nd round, something like that. I think it's going to be genuinely, it could even be a submission. I think he could. I don't think he's going to knock out Sakai cold. I think it's going to either be up against the fence. He's had enough, kind of like a Walt Harris deal. It's going to. I think Walt Harris and Sakai. I think that would be a great matchup. I think they're kind of on the same level at the moment. Walt Harris breaking into the top 10, Sakai breaking into the top 10. I don't rate his record as good as it is Sakai's because he was in Bellator for a while, and Bellator are renowned for giving you gimme fights to build a name, to build a brand if you've got any sort of promise. So I'm going to say round 2 for Alistair via TKO, but it could easily be pull guard guillotine kind of thing because I know he's got a fucking good guillotine. And I haven't seen him do a sub in a while, other than when he definitely subs Stipe because Stipe tapped. Let's watch that again with your brain damage, Alistair. So, yeah, definitely. I'm going to say round 2 for me, but I agree with everything you say. I just think it will happen even faster. But,
I know if Sakai comes out like you said and just starts going for the round 1 knockout, he's going to get tired real quick, and Overeem's going to just eat him up. Yeah, bad.
And if you think. Bad. I know MMA math doesn't happen, but the people he's actually beaten, he barely scraped past Arlovsky. Arlovsky's... The last time Arlovsky looks good was against Travis Brown, when he did that like miniature run where he sort of got back into contention almost when he came back, and then he's lost. So, and then obviously against Ivanov and Marcin Tybura, everyone seems to have beaten Marcin Tybura, so it doesn't really matter. Everyone just kind of has that name on their record. Yeah. So... Yeah, I think you're right. Alistair, round 2 for me, round 5 for you. If he does win, can Alistair then climb back into the top 5, or does he just stay? Because he's ranked 6. Does that mean he gets...
Oh, he's 6 now?
He's ranked 6, so who does he fight? He's not going to want to keep fighting people back here at 40 years old. What's the motivation? Other than getting more brain damage and CTE.
I know. I think the UFC is just going to kind of forget about him because everything's already kind of, I feel like, lined up in the top 5. Like, I don't know who they would give him at this point. I mean, he just fought Rosenstrike. Has he fought Derek Lewis? I don't think
they have actually. That's a good point. But I think Derek's fighting Curtis. I think that's going to be lined up.
Yeah, so if Curtis wins that, then maybe he would maybe line up a fight with Derek Lewis.
Yeah, perhaps.
But if Derek Lewis wins, I don't know. I don't really see him fighting a top 5 guy, which stinks. But
yeah, unless he stands in for someone, unless someone drops
Right.
out. That's the only thing I can think of. Because there's no way he's going to want to rematch Curtis Blades after
no,
his head bounced off the canvas multiple times. So
no, unless
Stipe
maybe
dealt with him.
yeah,
He's not going to
Stipe.
get anywhere near Stipe.
Unless he retires and then, maybe a spot moves up for him. But then, now John Jones is in the picture. I think Overeem just gets forgotten about 100%.
Yeah,
That stinks.
I think so. It does stink, but it's an end of an era for him, really, isn't it?
He's 40.
Yeah.
He's 40. Yeah, like you said, I think it's like 62 fights or something. I mean,
Got his record here: 46 wins, 18 losses, 1 contest, no draws.
wow.
So that's a good record.
Do you think he's one of the best to never win a title?
Yes.
Like the top 3, maybe?
Maybe not top 3. He'd be my top 10.
Yeah.
I'd have to really think about a top 10 list of people that have never won a title. Because Uriah Faber's probably my number 1.
He's up there. Yeah, he's up there for sure. I was looking at a list the other day because I was curious. I was like, wow, he's never won.
No, UFC titles. He's won everything else.
Yeah.
He won the Pancrase and the Grand Prix from Pride and all sorts. He's won everything.
Yeah,
But,
I think he's got I want to say 7 UFC losses. I think his UFC record is 11-7, which is really not that great. But when you look at who he's lost to, I'm sure it's all at one point contenders. So
I'm trying to think who he's beaten. He came in and beat Brock Lesnar.
Right.
First fight, body kicks, knees, just shut him down. And Brock at that time, you can say what you want. He's a beast of a bloke.
Oh yeah.
And he was juiced to the gills. But then again, so was Alistair. He was Overeem. He was
huge.
He was ridiculous.
He was a man. He was a beast.
He was taking the Vitor Belfort supplements.
Yeah.
Just they're all, as soon as USADA comes in, everyone just kind of gets moves.
Yeah, you're like, where did this come
Where's your
from?
6-pack go, bro? But I got to ask you as well, what do you think about Sean? Have you seen Sean O'Malley's latest video? Where he calls himself salty, where he says, mentally, I'm still 12-9. It hurts. It's just my video I made. Like, it hasn't obviously blown or anything, but it's just like, it's so true. Everything I said about Sean, it just
is he just the worst? He's just the worst. And he's gotten so many fans at this point too. Like his rise to stardom, but I mean, a lot of people got to be dropping off the hype train a little bit because I don't know. I hate him. I hate him, and I hope. I hope he does well, obviously, but I don't know. I think
he's got some parrot in his ear telling him, "No, you definitely won that." He's got a lot of yes men, especially his coach.
Could be
Tim. Is it Tim Welch, something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah, he's just everything Sean says. He's like, oh, absolutely. He's like the Brendan Schaub to Joe Rogan. He's just 100%, 100%.
Yes, guy.
Yeah, and it's not good for him. And I saw TJ Dillashaw's tweet back at him, which says, "I'm mentally the cleanest athlete in the UFC," and I was like, "That okay?" I don't like TJ, but I was like, oh, "Well done. That's a good tweet. That's quite good back at him."
That's funny.
But that's just throwing shade on it because people are saying, "Oh, he was injured," but who caused the injury? Darren Till fought Robert Whittaker with a blown out ACL for 3 rounds. He didn't quit.
Right.
Went 5 rounds. Say what you want about Till. Fucking Till, he's a beast. And then O'Malley gets, rub my ankle. Better fall over.
He was screaming. He was like when you watch the fight and Cheeto's walking around after the win, like he's like screaming on the ground. The stretcher takes him out. You're like, was he dying? Like what happened to him? And then we found out that like I'm pretty sure he was medically cleared like pretty quick, wasn't he?
No problems with him. He just got.
What's up with that?
His ankle went numb. His foot went numb because of the calf kick. Shut him all down.
Exactly.
Rolled his ankle. He might have sprained it. Fine. You can't walk. I've walked on a sprain. I've when I did amateur Muay Thai, I fought on a broken ankle. Hurts like a motherfucker, and that's amateur. I ain't paid.
Right. But like you said, you see all these other guys like get clearly hurt. I'm sure Anthony Smith was hurt too after that first round calf kick, and he just fought the rest of the fight.
He didn't give up when he was spitting out teeth, did he?
Up.
You know,
exactly.
He's just.
So,
I think Sean's weak. Personally, I think he's not been given gimme fights. But as soon as something doesn't go his way, and I'm looking forward, I want to see them match him with someone even better than Cheeto.
Yeah.
Just to really go, all right, well, did you emotionally lose from a knockout? Like, I really don't think he's all that. I think he was very promising. I think he needs a lot of work. I think he needs to move camp to someone better. Like, I think he needs someone in his ear that's going to be like, Sean, shut the fuck up. Listen to me. Stop listening to yourself. You don't know best. I know best. If George St. Pierre thought he knew best his whole career, he would never have been what he was. Faraz Sahabi knew best. Faraz Sahabi's helped him.
Right.
Same with what's Michael Bisping's guy. As soon as he moved over to Jason, RSVA. Oh, what's this called? Looks like Jesse Pinkman from Breaking Bad.
Oh man.
You know,
I'm blanking.
you know the guy, the ex-boxer. You know what I mean. But as soon as he moved over to Jason Pereira, that's the one. He started his headspace changed, and he got the words he needed to win the belt. You know, as soon as Justin listened to Trevor Whitman instead of Trevor's like, don't be a pipe boy, don't like show these people up like trying to get 50k bonus, and he's like, it's working at the moment.
Yeah.
And then he listens to Trevor and he does a performance like Tony. So
he needs someone. I think it's really hard to not admit that you got bested. Like, I think in the end, it's going to be so much easier for him to just be like, you know what? You're right. Like, I was bested. He hit me with the calf kick. Like, you got to learn from that. If you don't, you just accept that that didn't happen. It's going to happen again, probably. And that you got to like actually see that happen, understand it, and like adjust to it. Just don't pretend like it didn't happen.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. I think I'm on that bandwagon. I just hate. It's so toxic. Yeah. And he's got such a fan, but I'm jealous a little bit of his fan base. But
he blew up, man. He's probably a top 3 star right now.
But when I listen to him talk now, I'm like, you don't even sound intelligent anymore.
Yeah.
Like, it just sounds like petty child. It just sounds like he's 15 years old and someone's stolen his bicycle. Like,
exactly.
You know, it's just like he needs someone there to rub him on the head and say, no, you're fine.
Right, and he is a young guy. Like, I do think, there's obviously still great
I
potential.
actually think he's my age. I think he's mid-20s. He's not like 19, 20.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he's like 25, 26.
So he's got to put it together in the next few years so he can hit his peak in the right time. But
exactly. And he's still got potential. He's, saying he's going to be a champion, Cheeto's going to be a journeyman. I was like, oh, fucking hell.
Dude, Cheeto. I love Cheeto. Like, I flipped the switch on both guys. Like, I'm way off of O'Malley, and now I'm, like, all in on Cheeto. Like, I wish him the absolute best.
Yeah. I wish I had the audience to throw my original video where people said I was mental for betting on Cheeto. I was like,
I bet on him, too. Like, I saw that coming, that was his fight. He fought that so good.
Yeah. And have you seen the new tweets as well about John Jones? So he's backing Stipe, saying why would he fight Francis? He's already, put on a 25-minute show. He dominated every round. Why would he? Obviously trying to get the fight himself. So he's already declared then he wants to fight for the belt. Do you think he should immediately get that chance over Francis, or do you think Francis is right saying, don't you jump this queue? I've got 4. Like, he's 3 fucking sub-1 minute knockouts and 1 4-minute knockout.
Yeah.
In the last 4 fights. I mean,
I think you got to give it to Francis. It's hard to say because I think he fought Stipe not too long ago. Was it like 2018 when he had his title shot?
Yeah, I want to say it was probably 2 years ago.
Right. So it's not like he's been like dying to have this title shot that he's been working for. He had it and he lost it. But then when you look at the absolutely dominant knockout of Rosenstrike, who's now the number 4 ranked guy, and you just put Derek Lewis up against Curtis Blades, so everyone's
and he beat Curtis Blades.
And he beat Curtis Blades. I think.
And Velasquez.
I think it would be such an insult to not give it to Francis right now.
Yeah.
But then again, I wouldn't be surprised if they were like, nah, John Jones got it.
What about the tweet of John said he wants to beat Brock still? So what if he did Francis v Stipe, and then he did Brock v John?
I would do that in a heartbeat. I would pay to watch both of those 100%.
And in the contract, Brock, use as many steroids as you want.
Yes.
Because if you're not, it's just going to be a no contest and it's going to be boring. And you're going to come in and beat like Mark Hunt again, like that kind of standard where you got tired and you're just laying on him. And that's it. And Mark Hunt, like, to come in from the WWE, stop taking steroids for that long because he looked a bit flatter, but he's still a monster of a human being.
Yeah.
His bone must be concrete. But he, beat Mark Hunt. That's insane to come in and beat an MMA fighter that's trains MMA. And he took that fight knowing he's on steroids and then sued the UFC afterwards because he was on steroids. It's like, well, okay. But I think John v. Brock could be super fun because John's not going to want to take him down. Brock's going to want to take him down.
Right.
And if he takes him down, he's going to get tapped. John is elite on the ground, even though he may not have the jiu-jitsu like belts to demand it. When you see him actually, what he did to Gustafsson on the ground, oh my god, Gustafsson was trapped like a little girl.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. That would be a hilarious fight. I don't know how old Brock Lesnar is at this point. He's got to be.
I reckon he's 38 to 40,
right around there.
Mm.
But yeah, you pump him up with steroids.
Maybe a tiny old. I'm not sure. Around that, yeah. Give it a tolerance of 40, plus or minus 1.
Yeah, like we've seen John, like, fend people off, and he's obviously great on the ground. But like a true, like, savage heavyweight coming, like bull rushing you, like Brock Lesnar does, like
260 cuts to 265. Yeah.
Yeah, like there's not really much you can do about that. And what's he gonna do when he actually takes like the full brunt of a heavyweight fighter? Like, I'm so curious. Exactly. Like it's just I think it's gonna be a little bit different. They're not two very different weight classes, but the power is insane in heavyweight. So I just want to see how his chin holds up.
He does get hit. Yeah, man. I think Francis beats John.
You think so?
I do. I just think there's
I don't know.
I thought Rumble Johnson beat John just based on DC is he knew I'm not fucking with Rumble on the feet. No way. And he did everything he could. And he got hit. Remember in that first fight? He got hit and his head bounced off the fucking floor. And he stood back up and went, oh shit. And that was lucky he didn't get cleaned out in that shot. And then Rumble gets tired, blah, 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 blah. I think if Rumble hit John goes down. Personally. But I'm saying that off evidence that nothing's there because John's never gone down from a punch. Even Reyes.
Yeah.
He didn't go down from Reyes at all. He got hurt. Nope. He looked a bit shaky.
Looked a little bit, yeah.
Never went down. Same as when Gustafsson fought him. He looked a bit shaky, but nothing. And that was off a coke bend. So.
Yeah, right. He's probably hungover. He's just like.
Yeah, but
it off.
Have you seen all the motivated McGregor memes, for instance? Like the most dangerous MMA fighter on the planet is motivated McGregor. They're making excuses for why he didn't beat Khabib. It's because he wasn't motivated.
I hate that.
So, yeah, I'm sure he was, but that's his problem.
That is 100% his problem. If he wants to take it serious, come back and do it. Like, don't.
Yeah. So I was thinking like a motivated John almost, because he's going to be motivated at heavyweight because this is legacy now. He's done he's wiped everyone out. He's fought everyone except Rumble and Jan Blachowicz, I think, in the modern era of light heavyweight. He's beaten 3 generations, including like Vitor, Lyoto, so Chael. Went through those guys. So, and then he's obviously come up and beaten all these guys, including the DC. He's stuck with it. He's evolved. Blah blah blah. Coming into heavyweight, I would love to see him, as you said, fight someone like Alistair. Fight Brock. That'd be a fun fight, but it does nothing for legacy. It'd just be for money. So. I don't want to see him jump thingy, but I do want to see if Alistair wins. What about Alistair v. John?
I like that.
Just to test heavyweight status, because that will give Alistair incentive to take another fight.
And if Overeem wins that fight, now you're saying he's in the top 5 now. Put him
you get a title shot. You beat John Jones, you get Stipe.
Exactly.
You jump Curtis Blades.
That's a great. I think I said Volkov would have been like a good choice, but I think Overeem makes all the sense in the world. I think because that's not necessarily an easy fight. You're not just like kind of warming him up. You're kind of throwing him in there. That's a technical fight
against someone who's going to have probably 30 to 35 pounds advantage.
Yeah.
Because he comes in at 265 normally, doesn't he? So John's probably 240 max.
Yeah, probably even probably less, but
yeah. So I think that'd be a good technical fight. That
I like that. That's a great idea. That could happen. I could see that.
Sean Shelby, please.
Yeah. Are you watching this, Sean?
Yeah, Mick Maynard. Whoever does it. But I don't think they would. Because John wouldn't take it.
I think.
Alistair, rank what? 6? Nah. Kill.
Yeah.
Yep. No thanks.
If John Jones loses, do you think he goes back down, or do you think he retires, or do you think he stays in?
I think he stays there. I think he proves a point. I don't think he retires. John's like 32. He's so
Is he that
young.
young still?
He's 32. I think he's... Right, hang on. Let me get this.
He might be, because, I mean, he's been in the game forever, but he's started
He won the
super
belt
young.
at like 23.
Right.
He's 33 years old. He just turned 33 in July. There you go.
He is starting to not look super old, but you can tell he's slowing down. So, and just the way that he just like stepped away from the division and the UFC in general, it's kind of seemed like he was, for a second, maybe going to consider retirement. But
yeah, I think maybe he, because it's clear he wants more money.
right.
Maybe he's just after the super fights, hence the Brock comment.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what he wants. He wants 1 or 2 more fights. He just wants to win the heavyweight belt, beat Brock Lesnar up, have 10 million quid, go. Or $10 million.
That's not bad.
It's not bad, is it?
I don't hate that.
No, that could be quite good, actually.
Yeah, but it'd be nice if he stuck around for the next few years and we just have a very competitive heavyweight division with John Jones. That'd be awesome.
Would you like to see him go out the same way Anderson has, though? Anderson's retired 5 years too late.
No, I hate that.
So would you like to see him go out on top, or would you like to see him get knocked? I don't know. It depends if you like John or not.
I like John.
Yeah. Do Americans like John after all the fuck-ups he's done?
I think it's really...
He's 50-50 out. He's 50 out here. People that say they've met him say he's the nicest man in the world.
Yeah.
He remembers everything about you. And I spoke to Owen Oxley from Full Reptile, and he said when him and Dan Hardy met John Jones, they did their little camera talk together on YouTube, and it was just, he remembered him when they went to Vegas again, and he asked about the kids, and it's like, so he says he's a genuine guy, like or hate him, but like to me, he was cool.
Yeah.
So he kind of like has a personal, like, I like him. Whereas I said, from my point of view, never met him, but he seems like an arsehole. He seems really fake. He's all glory to God, all this stuff. It's all, and I'm like, okay, if you're really like, are you really that much of a prick? Are you really nice? I'm not sure. But DC claims he's fake. What he does, in his own private life. I don't know what it's like to have 50 million quid at 23 years old. So
Exactly.
I can't judge him too much, but all I can do is judge him, because that's my, job as a fan to have an opinion.
And it's happened so many times at this point too, where if it was like, okay, he had one bad instance outside of the octagon, but it's been now like a pattern where it keeps happening, and you're like,
and the peak of ground
nonsense. John? Yeah. Why are you doing this? And he's getting like caught on camera doing it, and it blows up on social media. So like obviously the opinion of him is very poor. Kind of like when McGregor friggin' went nuts on the bus and like threw the trolley or the dolly at it.
Punched an old bloke
and then
in the
punched
face
an old man. And you're like, what are you doing? Like why are you doing that? Like people thought so highly of him.
Yeah. And when you hear him talk, it's the same thing, I guess.
Yeah.
But that makes me a hypocrite, because I love McGregor. But he's an arse. But he's probably an arsehole now.
He probably is. I could see Jones not so much. McGregor, it went straight to his head especially after like all the Mayweather fight and all that.
I think the reason maybe it's because I watched him at Cage Warriors. I watched him in local MMA circuits around the UK.
More humble at that point, and
didn't know who he was. Just a skinhead Irish fellow with acne. You know, and then goes on to do what no one ever knew that was going to happen. When he came into UFC, it was like kind of that. It's like Nathaniel Wood suddenly just blowing up. It's just so random, or Darren Stewart, or Danny Roberts, or whatever. Or Joe Duffy. Joe Duffy beat him. He tapped him out in Cage Warriors. He beat him in like 2 minutes. He's rear naked choke Conor McGregor.
Really?
Now look at Joe Duffy's career. Very up and down in the UFC. He's just retired. He's like, I can't do this anymore. So. The different paths.
Very different paths.
Yeah. But okay. That's I think that's all good. Unless there's anything, you got any news?
No, the only other thing is I'm pretty sure OSP and Menifield got moved to the co-main.
On this one?
On this one, yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah. Oh,
so if you have, I know this, I'm sure you've previewed this one before as well.
No, I had to skip it last time. Did we skip it or did we?
I don't
Hang
remember actually.
No, we started and then we skipped. This is for the Munoz Edgar fight. It was moved.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Yeah,
that's
let's
right.
quickly then. Oh man. Yeah, Ovince Preux just lost to Ben Rothwell by split decision.
Yep.
See, this is why, sir. I write notes.
Wow. Yeah, you got the old school. You got actually writing notes. I do it on my phone, my iPhone.
No, I can't do that. I hate scrolling on the thing.
I know, it's brutal.
Plus, I actually wear glasses, so I actually very struggle to read right now. But I can't wear glasses because if I did, you'd see that ring light. So
Oh yeah.
I got to take it off.
Yep.
Effort. Round 2 win over Michael Alexis. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Perfect. That was 5-bomb blue choke. I can't pronounce Polish names. I'm assuming that's Polish. And Nikita Krylov via rear naked choke as well. He lost to Nikita Krylov. So he's an up and down Ovince. We all know how good Ovince is. He's proven, he's tested. He went 5 rounds with Jones with a broken arm in the first round. You know, he's a beast, but he's been around for a long time and he's on his way out.
Yep.
If Menifield has learned anything from that Devin Clark loss, where he gassed after the first round, trying to put in everything except the kitchen sink into finishing him, I think he's super dangerous against Ovince. He's so difficult to take down. He's so strong. He has one punch knockout power, hence the Paul Craig knockout. Jesus Christ, that scared me. Paul Craig trying to pull guard and he clips him with a right and just knocks him out cold and he just drops. And I was like, what? It's shocking how powerful someone can be. I know he's a light heavyweight and he's a big boy, but it was like he skimmed him with knuckles. It's effortless power. It's kind of like Rumble Johnson. It's just when he fought Glover, he hit once and that's it. It just shuts down. And Glover's got a chin. You've seen it since. It's not the end of him. It's so Menifield's got that kind of power to me, the Rumble Johnson-esque kind of shot power, but maybe one caliber under. But I think if he's learned from the Devin Clark loss, if he's got a better gas tank, if he's more concise, if he hurts him and picks his shot instead of just and works the body maybe. When people cover up, Bisping always said, hit the body, makes them lower down, pick your shot. You know, if they're covering up and you're hitting the body, they're not covering up for long. What are you gonna do? You're gonna hit the liver. You're gonna shut them down. It shuts the body down. Liver shots hurt. So
I mean, Stipe did it at DC, right?
There you go. Exactly that. So I don't know if you've got Ovince winning this, but I originally did. But I think this is Alonzo's time. I think he's going to be hungry. I think Ovince is on his way out. The hole is going to be shut down.
Yeah.
I'm going to... on this card, I did pick Ovince. And I'm going to change it to Alonzo. And I think he's going to get a decision. It's 3 rounds, as you said, co-main. So I'm going to actually pick... I'm going to pick a decision for this for Alonzo, which is a great co-main. That's better co-main than the ladies. The ladies, I'm glad they're on the main card. I'm not hating on them. I just don't think it's a co-main fight. I don't think it's renowned enough. I don't think enough people care.
Yeah.
So, unless the UFC are trying to make bums on seats, but no one's there. So, why would they bump it up?
Yeah, no, this one makes sense. Menifield, he's the up-and-comer. OSP's a well-known veteran, so this could make for a very interesting fight.
Yeah.
Menifield definitely could, like you said, knock him out quick because he's got that power. But I mean, OSP's also a beast. He also
has
beast,
the power.
Man.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, obviously, his path to victory is going to the ground, like 100%.
Lately, the last few fights, that's all he's tried, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. So it's really tough too, because he's such an older fighter at this point, and he's not the same type of caliber he once was.
Sure.
So if Menifield is as strong as we think he is, it's going to be very tough to take him down. He could definitely get gassed out himself if he tries to shoot in early and he gets stuffed a bunch of times. He's going to be the tired one. So that could go both ways. I did have OSP winning this one by submission originally.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of like bouncing back and forth on it. But since you took Menifield, I'll go OSP. And I'll take it by submission too. Yeah, I'll think he gets him down and maybe Menifield gets tired like he did against Devin Clark. And he submits him. The Von Flute choke. Let's see it.
Nice. I like that. That's not staying on the fence.
No.
I like that. Von Flute or the St. Preux choke, isn't it?
Yeah, we'll just call it that.
The St. Preux. Right. I appreciate you coming on, dude.
Yeah, absolutely. I know
Massive
it was
thanks
a
to it.
little short notice, but anytime,
No,
just send me a message. I can usually make some time if you're usually okay with the later
yeah,
session.
The later the better, to be honest, for me as well too. So
Okay.
works both
And
ways.